So I'm Holly Morehouse. I'm with Vermont Afterschool, which is a statewide nonprofit that supports programs that work with children and youth outside the school day. So after school, before school, weekends, school vacations, over the summer. Our programs support children pre-K all the way through high school. And we're really looking at that time beyond the school day when they're out in the community with their families. What else are they doing with that time? We are all here today as part of Vermont Afterschool and Summer Learning Day. We have over 150 folks from across the state, including 42 youth ambassadors, 3 of whom are here right now to speak with you. We're here because it's important. We know it's important. Studies show that the hours of 3 to 6 are when the highest levels of youth crime peak. Those are the peak hours. It's also the time where they get into trouble with cigarettes and smoking and sexual behavior and so forth. We know that the programs that are provided during those hours not only keep kids safe, they serve healthy meals and snacks. There's an after-school supper program all across the state in a number of communities. They provide positive role models. They inspire learning. So the learning activities that are happening, everything from building rockets and doing school plays and school gardens and exploring new passions and game design and so forth is really exciting to see that. The program is also really important for working families, which I know that your committee cares about as well. A lot of parents couldn't work if the programs didn't exist, and you'll see that there's high levels of stress associated with care for kids in the after school and summer when they don't have programs that are available and accessible. The programs also support Vermont's vision for our youth and for the education of our youth. I had put a few things together for you. I really want to pass this to the kids, and then if there are more questions on the materials, I have more than you may ever want to know. I care so passionately and so deeply because I know that the research and the practice shows that this is what makes a difference. When you look at kids falling behind or who gets ahead or how they keep up, it's really this out-of-school time that's playing an important role. The first slide here is actually a map that we keep. It's a database we have at Vermont Afterschool that tracks all the programs that we know of statewide. The version I gave you, the red dots are the school year and summer, so they're programs that are doing both those after-school hours and in the summer. The yellow dots is a program that's only open or offering programming in the summer, and the school year is the green dots. So they're running things in the school year but not after school. This map is also available online through our database, so you can click on any of the dots and find out about that program and what the name is and what grades they serve and so forth. Your chair had asked for all of you on the second page. This we put together. This is the list of programs by district. So that you know what's in your district. There may be things that we don't know about, and if you know that, we'd love to add them to the database. We used all the license programs, so I know that you do a lot with early childhood. All of the school-age license programs, and Lynn Robbins is here from the Child Development Division, fall under your purview of this committee. So those are programs serving students after school and in the summer up to age 12. Those will show up here. I put little asterisks next to the programs that receive 21st Century Community Learning Center funds. That is the only state federal funds that are designated solely for after school and summer learning. Those funds are administered through the Agency of Education, and they work for elementary, middle, and high school students. A number of you signed on to a letter that recently came from the House in support of 21st Century Community Learning Centers and keeping that funding stream as part of the reauthorization of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, ESEA, and really appreciate your support. So thank you for that on the letter. Also showing up on your list is you'll see things like teen centers and Boys and Girls Club and so forth. So that's the list. I gave you there was a working group on expanded learning time that happened over the last year out of the Vermont's Pre-K through 16 Council. They were charged at looking in particular with issues of equity and access with respect to expanded learning time. Barb Russ, who's in the back there, who's helping us with the filming, she served on that committee. This is an executive summary. I can send you the full report if you'd like. But it's got the key findings from that report, talking about those peak hours that I mentioned. Also part of this study is we did a return on investment study. For every dollar that Vermont spends on after school and summer learning, we can get back $2.18. When you look at long-term savings over drug prevention, alcohol abuse prevention, dropouts, and so forth.
So let me ask, look, if you go up a little bit.
Which way? This way?
Yeah. So the full report is available on the HTTP. No, you scroll down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
Yes, it's there. I can also email it to your committee.
I don't think you need,
If you'd like.
don't we have this online, and so we could click onto it.
Okay.
Unless someone, is there someone who really wants the separate report email, or can you find it if you want it?
I do want to call out.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure where to go for that.
I can send it to you, Representative.
Okay.
I'll just make a note.
And then Steve had a question.
No, it was where does the $2.18 comes from savings? It does not come from another source. In other words, you don't get matching funds or anything like that. It's basically where you're looking at in terms of the projected outcomes
Exactly.
based upon your
And
research.
And that study that we did is actually a conservative number. There was a study done by the Boys and Girls Club nationally, and they found a return on investment of $9 for every dollar spent. They were able to look at a whole broader set of benefits than we were in our study under the working group. But I feel very confident in the $2.18 as a conservative but good estimate.
Okay, good. Thank you.
The other note I just want to let you know, since it is Vermont Afterschool and Summer Learning Day, Vermont was designated as 4th in the nation in a recent report. It was a national study called America After 3. We were ranked 4th in the nation for our after-school programming, which is very exciting. Yay us. Where we did well was high levels of parent satisfaction, participation, high levels of support for public funding. That put us to the top of that list. Where we still struggle as a state are really reaching low-income children, as those who qualify for free reduced lunch rate. If you're in a community that receives those 21st Century Community Learning Center funds that I talked about, you may have access to a program that's affordable and has a scholarship and so forth. If you're not, you are looking at licensing and seeing if your family qualifies for the subsidy, the Child Care Financial Assistance Program, but we have a lot of kids in the state who are falling through the cracks, who their families don't qualify for the subsidy, they can't afford the fees. We know that there's at least 22,000 children and youth in Vermont who would be in a program today if more were available and if they were accessible.
How do we know that?
Came out of that same study. It was
so if we look at that study.
Yeah, and that was the America After 3. It was done by a national group out of Washington, D.C., who do these kind of polls and surveys all the time, and that's how we know that it's 1 in 3 who are not in programs would be.
And did they actually look at Vermont, or is this
Yes.
Okay.
That's the Vermont number.
Okay.
Yes. 33% of children and youth not currently in programs in Vermont would be today if they had access, and it comes out to about 22,000.
How many do you serve?
We serve statewide 24% of Vermont's children and youth, so it's also about 22,000. It's 21,690 roughly, and that's all the way kindergarten through high school.
And are the kids that you do serve, is that on a first come first serve basis? Are there parameters that you're looking for, either means testing or how do you decide who to let in the program? Because I'm guessing you have more interest in kids than you have space for.
It depends on it would be a local program decision.
Okay.
A number of programs, a lot of programs have to run first come first serve and then keep waiting lists. Our programs are always looking, when I say our programs, we don't serve at Vermont Afterschool any kids directly, we work with all the programs that do. They are always looking for ways to expand. The Child Development Division does do some expansion grants to try to help when they have that need to serve more kids or expand in a different way. Some programs will target and you'll have teachers really looking for this child to really benefit from the program. Let's get them in there.
Okay, thank you.
The last piece. I'm sorry.
After school this is a grant-based program for you, and then you serve other, because I know we have things going on in Pulteney that are it's fully funded by the town.
Yes.
So we would not be going through after school for all?
You would.
Okay.
So Vermont Afterschool is a statewide nonprofit. We receive funds from the Agency of Education, the Child Development Division. We have private foundation funding. We have participant fee-based funding. And all of our work is to support the programs, like the ones that exist in Poultney, regardless of their funding or their structure. So Poultney used to have a 21st Century grant, and now it's been picked up by the town.
Right.
So we
So
run
it's not on this list here.
because
But
it
we did
probably
provide
didn't show
year
up. Yeah,
And so,
if they are not
Through-
registered with any of the databases that we checked,
Okay.
but I'll be glad to put
Okay.
them in. Yes, any programs can access our supports and services and participate
Okay.
in events. And we
So
just
what
make
are
it
your
work.
supports and services? What are we paying for with our child development grant, our child development funds and our agency of education funds?
At Vermont Afterschool? Oh my gosh, you guys are paying for a lot, and we're doing a good job with the money. Most of our work is in the area of professional development and supporting quality. We run a statewide after-school conference that has about 300 people attend. We do site-based trainings. We have over 50 different workshops, depending on, and they're all from youth development to, you know, how to teach STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Build strong learners and so forth. So we have about 50 different workshops that are offered, and we offer about 75 of those, so they get offered multiple times at sites throughout the state. With the Child Development Division, we use funds to support online courses through CCV for providers to improve quality. We have an after-school credential and an after-school foundation certificate to help build quality of staffing in the field. We run with the Department of Ed money, Agency of Ed, money. We run a year-long coaching strand where it's like a professional learning community for after-school providers and directors, where they pick a topic. Like we have one now on engaging families, and they work together with a coach across the course of the year. Not only do they come together and meet, but they also have individual coaching sessions with the coach so that that knowledge is transferred to the field. We do policy and work on resources such as the work on this expanded learning time report that I mentioned earlier. And we also do a lot of partnership building. So we have a statewide partnership organization where the Child Development Division, Lynn, sits on that, as well as Emmanuel Betts from the Agency of Human Services. Hunger Free Vermont sits on that. Voices for Vermont Children. So it's a place where we can convene as a state to look at all these issues around out of school time. That's just a snippet. We have Mentors for Quality working with sites. And I would be glad to share our annual report. It might be the quickest way. It's actually really nice, lots of photos, easy to read. It will give you a snippet of all the different types of work that we're doing at the center. And there's grants, that's right, thank you, Lynn. There's direct grants to improve program quality and also startup grants that come through our office.
If I just moved to town and I don't know where to send my kid after school, can I call you?
Sometimes folks call us. They also often call the local resource and referral service, and we partner with them as well, and it would be the same for early childhood.
Okay, thank you. Other questions right now for Holly? Okay.
Are you anticipating losing funding from federal for the after-school program that was put into the works by Senator Jeffords and now is going to be cut back? Are you looking at the possibility of losing funds there?
We are very concerned about that. That's the 21st Century Community Learning Center
Yes.
funds. Senator Jeffords was instrumental in getting that started. As they're looking at the reauthorization of ESEA, they're talking about taking those funds and moving them into a block grant, which would be able to use for a whole bunch of different services at the local level. There's the issue of the flexibility and what happens. What we're really concerned about is when you look at that bill, they're taking almost the exact amount of money, $1.6 billion that currently goes nationally into 21st Century, and $1.3 billion, and they're putting $1.6 billion in this new block grant. So most of it is current 21C funds, which will then, at the local level, could be used during the school day, it could be used for mental health services, it could be used for a whole bunch of different uses, all which are good, but will water down the quality of the programs. Part of why 21C works is because it's money invested over time. They're 5-year grants, a minimum of $50,000 of federal dollars come into a site. It also supports state infrastructure to support quality, research, evaluation, And when we saw under sequestration just a 4% cut in Vermont around 21C, we saw summer programs cut. We saw teachers not being hired to work in programs because it was too expensive. We saw buses being canceled so kids couldn't get to and from the programs. So any amount of cut into 21C is going to hurt our program significantly.
Okay, we have one more question, and if it's about federal legislation, you can ask the question afterwards. Go ahead.
Do you have any, do you have a template that you put together that compares the value of what you do, and you have some of that here, with other programs, for example, that might get the money that you're going to get? Have you done any comparative study?
Yes, I mean yes and no. So the last thing I gave you was just a quick cut of some of our.
Oh, that's helpful because we're doing it in RBA.
But that's what I thought. So we're trying to. We're working with our local programs to move to RBA, and as a state level, we're also trying to move to RBA. We actually have more indicators in this. I just tried to pull out some key ones. So we are working with RBA. As far as with the 21st century funds, things like extending the school day, there's been some analyses on.
Okay, and Holly, I'm gonna. The 21st century grants are federal.
Yes.
We have we're a state legislature.
Yes.
We can't do anything about federal grants, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 people to testify.
Yes.
So, Holly, you're really good, and committee, we can keep asking Holly questions, but we have lots of other people, some of whom are kids, some of us are 20. So, let's put that.
Totally
Right.
appreciate that. You and I can connect if you'd like to further. I do want you to hear from the kids because what they say is what really matters.
Here.
I am going to move out of the way.
And then if we have more time, we may come back to you.
That's no problem at all. And I could also be glad to follow up, and you have my contact information, so I know your day is very busy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
and we
you.
hope to see you at lunch.
I think
those
a
of
bunch
you who
us
can
are
make it
coming,
over.
For lunch and have RSVP. Now, I don't know whether, I have a list of people, but do you know have you orchestrated who's coming and
We
speaking?
have.
Okay,
some
then I'm
of
going to
us
let you
to
take that
orchestrate.
over.
Okay, so I'm going to turn you over to Diane Janukajtis, who is just going to speak for a few minutes and give you the idea of what a program looks like in Caledonia North. So, I think I can call up thing. There it is. So this is Diane Janukajtis.
And Holly, you get gold stars for being able to do the iPad yourself.
You know who helped me.
Good morning, and thank you, Madam Chair and representatives, for giving me this opportunity to talk about my corner of the world in the Northeast Kingdom with our 21st century program. So I think some of the things I'll say, you'll be able to see how what Holly has said, how it really happens on the ground. I'm program director for Caledonia North Kingdom Afterschool Programs, and we're a 21st century program in the Northeast Kingdom. And we have 5 sites at the CNSU school, so that's Burke, Linden, Sutton, Newark, and Miller's Run, which is the towns of Wheelock and Sheffield. We're open to all of the K through 8 kids in our district. And we operate for 32 weeks a year, and from mid-September to mid-May. I'm going to run through some of the stats first. Our student participation in 2013-14, we served 449 kids, which was approximately roughly 50% of the K through 8 kids in our supervisory union. Of those kids, most of them attend very regularly, if not every day, pretty close to it. So we have 42% of our kids attend over 90 days, and that's what our database allows us to measure. And 70% of the kids attend at least 60 to 89 days. So we have kids that are regular attendees, as we call them in 21st language. Our free and reduced meal rate in our supervisory union, the average rate is over 60%. Sutton and Miller's Run School are close to 70%. Our after-school programs at each site serve a much higher rate of students in poverty than the school day rate. There is no fee for attendance if you're eligible for free and reduced meals in our programs, and if you're a middle school student, you're not charged. Parents that are not eligible, families that aren't eligible, pay $4 a day. And in regards to our programs, students are provided every day with a free snack or a meal, homework help, tutoring. We just started partnering with the local mentoring program, so some kids will be getting mentored doing after school. This is in a safe environment within the school building. Our programs operate right after school. The kids go directly to their programs when school is dismissed, and parent pickup in our programs are at 5:15. And programs, there's a wide range of enrichment or activities, clubs we call them, a lot of them. They're hands-on, they're project-based, they're focused on student skill development, exploration of interests. For most of our kids, these are rural, very rural village schools. So if it's not happening at school or after school, it's really not happening. There really isn't other options. You know, for some other areas of the state have boys and girls clubs or some other things. We don't have those things. So it's very, very important to our kids and our families. We do link a lot with the school day, so teachers use us to extend activities that the kids want, but we also bring in, we have a lot of very strong community partnerships that really allows us to increase the learning opportunities. So we're working with Fairbanks Museum, we're working with Green Mountain Farm to School, we're working with 4-H through the UVM Extension. We have some little grants that we apply for, and we get some other revenue too. Our parents tell, I want to come back to revenue, but our parents tell us that they really depend on after school to provide the safe, enjoyable, affordable environment that they need for their kids while they're working. And a lot of parents have told us that the kids at home don't have adequate time, space, internet access to do homework. They don't have an adult there to help them with homework. So again, for many of our schools, and our kids in our schools, we're pretty much it. Our revenue is 21st century. That's 45% of our revenue this year. Title I dollars, which are federal dollars for low-income, low-achieving kids that come into the supervisory union. 36% of our revenue is from our local school budget. So they support each one of our programs in the school budget. And then our parent fees are 3%. Our biggest challenge, Holly touched on this, is we have unmet need in our programs. We are pretty much maxed out, and we struggle to meet in terms of taking other kids in with the staff that we have. And we struggle to meet the sustainability expectation that 21C programs have to operate under, that we're supposed to have 50% of the funding. So, thank you very much.
I'd like to now introduce Kamryn. Kamryn's in grade 7, and she goes to the program that Diane just talked about. Each of the students have prepared an essay as part of being a youth ambassador here today. So this is Kamryn. Thanks, Kamryn.
However you want to do it is fine, Kamryn.
Just the name and your grades.
Okay, I'm Kamryn Trepanier.
Just speak up a little bit.
I'm Kamryn Trepanier. I go to Sutton School, and I'm in 7th grade.
That's easy.
My name is Kamryn Trepanier, and the 4 years that I've been attending the after-school program at Sutton School, I've learned so much from the teachers, peers, and even the younger group. During the after-school program, my 2 sisters and I get to cook, play, learn, and have fun. In the 2 hours and 15 minutes we have here, we learn about teamwork, survival, friendship, and collaboration. We create fun art like birdhouses, draw snowman pictures, and use technology like iPads and carve walking sticks. For example, during Tech Wizards, the older students worked together to build rockets, while the younger students worked on their tech skills by using the iPads to record the firing of the rockets. A big part of the after-school program at Sutton is giving the students voice. As students, we are asked to lead meetings, activities, and provide assistance during our enrichments. Because of this chance to use our voice, we are able to ask questions, imagine, and show our creativity each day that we meet. It is for those reasons that I like Sutton Village School after-school program so much.
Thank you.
Kamryn, thank you
Good.
so much.
Nice
You
job.
certainly have found your voice.
Excellent, excellent,
Yes.
yeah.
And you thought about being a page next year here.
Do you have any question for us? Okay. If you think of one, you just ask. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kamryn.
So next, I'd like to invite Janizer. And Janizer is in 8th grade, and she goes to the New North End Youth Center, which is in Burlington. We tried to bring in a variety of kids from all across. So this is Janizer. Can you see yours? Yeah. You know how to do it.
They know how.
It does not need my help.
I want you to know that there are people, adults, and people whose job it is to try to persuade us to do things, who sit there and can't do that.
Hi, I'm Janizer D. I'm in 8th grade and I go to Hunt Middle School. The Spirals Afterschool was a program that opened doors to see the reality of what really happens in the city. We were able to ask questions about different groups in Burlington, their lives, and how they get their food. Asking these questions helped me see how different people look at what being healthy means to them. In this program, we looked at businesses we thought might be sustainable. Asking ourselves questions, we discovered that some really weren't sustainable. These discoveries made me angry and surprised. I thought that the government was doing more to protect us. People think they are buying organic food, and in some cases, they really aren't. We had the opportunity to go to ECHO during an in-service day and explain our findings. I felt proud that we got to tell people what was really going on. Besides Spirals, I've got to do many other programs such as Zentangles, beading, and felting that allowed me to explore many things I might have not been able to try, especially if I still lived in Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, you would have to spend a lot of money for these programs, and my family could not have afforded it. Plus, many of these programs would not have been offered.
Oh, very good.
What is Zentangles?
Well, it's a class. It's doodling, but it's kind of doodling with a purpose, with a lot of different patterns and just putting them all together into something big.
It's beautiful. It's very deep.
Can you send us some pictures?
Sure.
Oh, your wife does?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Does it all the time. Doodling with a purpose.
And Janizer, his wife is she still, or she was a teacher? She is, yeah.
Well, no, she retired this June.
She was a teacher.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Next, I'd like to introduce Shawn Baker. Shawn to Essex Middle School. And there you go. Whichever one is better for you to read.
I am Shawn Baker. I'm from Essex Middle School and I'm in 8th grade. I have attended many after-school programs from 4-H to Eyes of the Mind to Yuba Club. I have also enjoyed DI, which is Destination Imagination, the play, chess club, track and field, and homework club. I have enjoyed every one of them, and I still do or will do most of them. After-school programs are things that I look forward to at the end of the day of a long school day. I get to have fun and do what I enjoy and just forget about school and homework for an hour or two. Of course, I still put schoolwork first, but after-school programs are a break from school. I do sometimes attend homework club, and I get to ask my teachers for help on homework. In DI, I get to imagine things like puppets coming to life or unicorns that throw around glitter. In the play, I get to create the role that I become. I create a character and make it in my own way, and I get to be someone that you normally don't act like. I've had many opportunities in after-school programs and many enjoyable times doing the program and hanging with friends. After-school programs have benefited me in many different ways, and I'm glad that my school has them.
Great.
Shawn, thank you.
I have a question. I'm from Essex. Is the program that you're in, is it just kids from EMS, or do you have kids from ADL there
I
as
think
well?
it's just EMS.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Great job, Shawn.
Yeah, I forgot to ask, but do you have any questions for us?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Next, we have Katelyn Brown. Kaitlin is in 5th grade. Why do I have 5th grade? I'm sorry, you don't
made a
look like
mistake.
5th grade. And I'm 29. So 7th grade. Expanded learning opportunities.
She's done so well that she's advanced too.
No, just from listening to this conversation.
So Kaitlin, we want you to apply to be a page next year as well.
Hi, my name is Katelyn Brown. I'm from the Danville School. I have been attending my school's ELO program for 2 years, Extended Learning Opportunities. It's for kids kindergarten through 8th grade, and my experience at ELO has been amazing. During the after-school programs, I have learned to work as part of a team, how to achieve goals, and advocate and dream. One of the programs that I'm a part of is the drama program. It's for kids 6th grade through 8th, and we have been preparing for a play. In the past years, we have put on a Seussical and Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, my favorite.
I have learned many things from being on the stage and working together with the rest of my class to make a beautiful performance come to life. It's also taught me to overcome my fear of speaking in front of people.
You've done it.
Yeah, you've done it. Good for you.
I've conquered that fear, and I'm not afraid to be myself anymore. I'm confident in myself now.
Good.
And I love being different. I don't want to be like everybody else. I know that being different is what makes beautiful people shine brighter than ever before.
That's right.
Also, I am a part of a program called Girl Talk. It is for middle school girls. They are mentored by a high schooler who will teach them the lessons of being a girl, how to handle bullying situations, and to love who you are, your body, and your life. It has built my confidence and courage to do things that I would never think before. It has inspired me to be the person I am and to follow my dreams. ELO has been such a great experience for me, and I know now that I will succeed in life. I have learned so many good things from my middle school career, and I am grateful that the Danville School has given me this opportunity.
Nicely done.
What play are you working on now?
This year we are doing the play. Poof. Yes, Poof. It's called Poof. It's like it's kind of a fairy tale play, but it's mixing a bunch of fairy tales together.
So have you been in a play? Have you been a part? Like,
Yes.
were you in Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, I've been in Alice in Wonderland and the Seussical. I've had a lot of fun doing that.
Nice. Good job.
Well, again, I want to ask Kamryn or Shaun or Janizer or Kaitlin, do you have any questions? Do you want to know anything about us? Do you have any questions for us?
Can I just say that,
Yes, yes, young man.
I want to remind them that this is a citizens legislature. We have lots of different jobs, and one of my jobs is working in after school. And I'm saying that because in a few years, we hope you will be here.
Yeah.
And that's what Vermont's legislature is all about, for you guys to take your turn here. Think about that, because you can do it.
And some of us got here by way of theater.
I want to thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe just, again, question for the kids more generally. How do you like your after-school program compared to some of the things that you do during the school day?
I like school, so it's kind of even.
It's really fun, and I have very crazy friends, and it's just a place where we can go very crazy, but still learn things.
I don't get homework.
I ask you, it sounds like in some of the presentations, there's a lot of learning going on.
Right, yeah.
And it sounds like it's a little bit more engaging. from
I'll say for educators, it's an opportunity to work outside of the standards and outside of the curriculum and to offer to students the things. I often say to teachers, what is that one thing you've always wanted to offer but you haven't been able to fit in the curriculum? So for educators, it's incredibly liberating because it's not about the standards. It's about what's that one exciting thing I've always wanted to offer to students. And so it's a great
So
opportunity.
I apologize. Thank you for adding that. Since we're on tape, can you say your name?
I'm Sherry Souza. I'm Director of Instructional Support for Windsor Central Supervisory Unit.
Okay, thank you.
I have an easy question for you.
Oh, yeah, right. Be careful.
If you didn't have this to go to, what would you do? What would you be doing?
Good point. Good question.
After school.
Would anybody be home? What would you do at home?
Do my homework.
What's your name?
Yep, that's what I do when I'm doing homework.
I'd probably be home too. I don't really go outside besides school, so I'll pretty much be home all day.
Be the same at home.
By yourself?
No. I have a parent who works at home, so the house is never alone.
And my parents would be home too.
Okay.
I would have to live with my dad because my mom has to work until 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys have pretty much the friends you have during the school day? Are they with you in the after school program, or do you make different friends there? Or
Sometimes, like, I have some friends that are in there, and sometimes I make new friends.
So
I want to thank you for all your time. I'm sorry we went over.
No, that's okay. That's okay. We have questions.
Well, I really...
I left some blank time because I knew we had questions.
We really appreciate it, and we just wanted you to get a glimpse of all the opportunities that these children have and to think about how we can get those to the rest who do not have programs.